Fortnite's always been about two things: battle royale chaos and the ability to build. It's what set the game apart and made it a global phenomenon, but for years, there's only been one glaring problem: the skill gap in build mode. For the average new player, the learning curve isn't just steep, it is a vertical wall, and that wall has scared off more than a few newcomers. I want to discuss this more in another video, but basically the longer a popular game is out, the higher the average skill level of the player base gets. So while Fortnite day one, everyone was pretty much just fumbling around trying to figure out what to do, but now most players are at least pretty decent and competent. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, it's pretty close. That's pretty close, dude. That's pretty close. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good, dude. If you guys do enjoy this video, please consider leaving a like, a comment, and subscribing. It really helps me out. I'm a smaller YouTuber, and every click matters to me. Fortnite does a good job of not throwing new players in with the rest of the population right away. They use a lot of bots and pretty much ease people into it, but the problem of the skill gap in Fortnite's build mode still exists. But in Chapter 6 Season 1, Epic Games introduced a feature that could change everything: Simple Edit. Let's talk about Fortnite build mode. At its core, the ability to construct and edit structures is what makes Fortnite so unique and drew players into the game when it first released. But over time, what started as a quirky and fun mechanic turned into a high-skill art form. And for many players, especially those jumping into Fortnite for the first time, it became almost impossible to compete. Born too late to explore the frontier, born too early to explore space, born right at the right time to waste all of my free time playing a children's game.
Hell yeah.
I remember when I first played in Season 1. Yes, Season 1 in 2017. Building was like this additional option. It wasn't a huge necessity. It seemed like aim and positioning mattered more. Basically, building a 4x4 box or tower was really all you needed, and you weren't really having to like build battle against other players. My personal issue was that as Chapter 1 wore on, I did not get insanely good at building. I'd say because I'm employed and I have a job, but it could be a skill issue. Other players that I played against got so insanely good that I'd shoot at them once and they'd build the entire Empire State Building. The pros weren't just playing Fortnite, they were grinding. Hours in creative mode, mastering edits, building reflexes, and perfecting mechanics that turn them into unstoppable forces. For casuals like myself or returning players, Fortnite became a build of basically who can build faster, and the answer was almost always not you. The result, build mode was seen as this intimidating, punishing, and frankly not worth the effort for many players. Even with the success of Zero Build, build mode was at the risk of becoming a domain of sweats and pros alone. Build mode is still seemingly more popular than Zero Build, but Epic Games had to do something to bring new players into build mode. And if you're new, you probably started and stayed in Zero Build. I stay in Zero Build because I like having a normal blood pressure and heart rate. In Chapter 6 Season 1, which is the current season as of this video's release, Epic Games introduced this new feature called Simple Edit. It's a toggleable menu option that reimagines how players interact with Fortnite's editing system. Instead of relying on pixel-perfect accuracy and lightning-fast inputs, Simple Edit provides a more intuitive and guided experience. With Simple Edit, the game does some of the heavy lifting for you. It shows clear visual prompts for edits and helps ensure that even newer players can execute some clean edits under pressure. The way the system works at a sort of base level is you build a wall, cone, ramp, whatever, then you click one button or key and it instantly edits it. Now, how it edits it is dependent on where you put your cursor or sight when you click the single button. For example, you want to build a door into a wall. You have to aim at the bottom center piece of the wall and click the button. If you want a window, you aim right at the middle. And different pieces have different options, so basically Simple Edit allows for one-touch editing instead of having to swipe across all the pieces that you want to remove. This does two things. It makes it easier to edit, but you also can't do certain edits. You need to leave Simple Edit and use manual editing for that. So why is this feature such a big deal? Because it lowers the barrier of entry to build mode. For years, Fortnite's editing mechanics were a major roadblock for casual and new players, or for the people who had jobs. If you couldn't edit quickly, you were stuck playing defense, or worse, getting boxed and eliminated in seconds. Simple Edit changes that. Essentially, many players who hadn't gotten building down yet, or were so new, either had to grind and learn how to build and edit, or they had to play Zero Build. Basically, if you had a life outside of Fortnite, you weren't going to compete with those who were unemployed and grinding Fortnite all the time. By making editing less intimidating, Simple Edit lets new players dip their toes into the complexity of build mode without feeling completely overwhelmed. Now, let's address the elephant in the room that I'm sure everyone's probably thinking about at this point. Does Simple Edit dumb down Fortnite? Critics may argue that it takes away some of the skill and depth of build mode, but here's the reality. Simple Edit isn't to replace traditional editing or manual editing, it's just supplementing it. Pros and veterans still have every advantage with manual edits. It's much more intuitive, you can do a whole lot more with it. Simple Edit is simply for the players who need a foothold to start climbing that skill mountain. Manual editing, when learned properly, will still be far superior to simple editing. I think of simple editing as training wheels to bring bring up the skill floor for the bottom of players in build mode, but it doesn't come close to raising it high enough to compete with the best players, and it also doesn't lower the skill ceiling. In fact, Simple Edit could probably enhance the competitive experience by drawing more players into build mode. A larger player base means more innovation, more strategies, and more importantly, it's a healthier player base overall. Plus, I'm all for features that just allow people to enjoy a game without having to play like a second job. Simple Edit just isn't about making the game easier, it's also about future-proofing Fortnite, as Zero Build brought back lapsed players like myself and opened the game to a wider audience. Simple Edit does the same for build mode. It ensures that building remains a core part of Fortnite's DNA while making it accessible to the next generation of new players. Imagine a Fortnite where new players don't avoid build mode like they do now, but they actually embrace it. Imagine lobbies that are filled with both casual players and veterans alike, all enjoying the thrill of constructing and editing on the fly. That is sort of the future that I think Simple Edit is aiming for. Of course, like I said, no changes without its critics. For casual players, Simple Edit's a godsend, a way to finally engage with build mode, but some veterans are just going to worry that it could dilute the skill ceiling. Fortnite's strength has always been its ability to evolve. The introduction of Zero Build didn't kill building, it coexisted with it, offering players options. Simple Edit just does the same thing. It's not about replacing skill, it's just about fostering growth. Simple Edit, at least in my eyes, isn't just a feature, it's a philosophy. And as long as Fortnite keeps finding ways to balance accessibility with mastery, it'll remain one of the most innovative games ever. Thank you guys so much for watching. I want to know what you guys think about the new Simple Edit feature. Is it a game changer, or is it just an option, or is it just an annoyance? Please drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into Fortnite. I'll see you guys next time.